And now, stand and cheer for your Talking Basketball podcast. Welcome back to this episode. This is the second part of a doubleheader. If you haven't heard the first, go back and listen to it. If you can't be bothered, that's all right. Just keep listening to this one, and hopefully you enjoy it. And don't forget, like and subscribe. I hate it when people say that.
Yeah, so that was eye-opening, massively eye-opening, and the fitness was one thing, but then we played some tournaments, and they used to run this 6-4-6, or we were a traveling team, so because it was a prep school, we didn't play as many in-state tournaments, so we did a lot of stuff that was out of state. We traveled quite a lot, sort of like up towards New York way, across to like Tallahassee, those types of areas. Lot down in like South Beach.
What, you just getting on a bus and just flying?
No, we got on a bus once at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and
because that's like 8-9 hours from like
ridiculous.
Orlando to New York, right? About 12 hours maybe?
I don't know. It must have been long. We got on one road, and this is how I put it. We pulled out the apartment block. We got on the road, and the sat nav said in 312 miles, take the left. And I was like, sorry, what? Like 312 miles. And they were like, it's normal. Yeah. Like the two guys from Philly that moved from Philly to Orlando to play, it was 24 hours in the car because they had stuff. They couldn't fly. They filled the car up and drove a U-Haul from Philadelphia. So I'll get into them in a bit because I should give them credit where credit's due. But yeah, like that's what we did. So we were on the road a lot, and we used to have this thing called 6-4-6. So no matter what happened, by 6 a.m. you have to run 6 miles.
Before 6
a.m. And that's before you go to practice. So you leave for practice at 6 o'clock. So if you're not in the bus, you don't go to practice. Then you have to pay a fine, which is often physically.
I thought you were going to say a fine is your food for a week.
Sometimes it was for me, but you have to get up in the morning, and like we'd go out and party. We'd go and get absolutely send it to like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and then. You're like,
Jesus, then you got to get up
6
at
miles.
What?
6 miles, so you're up.
You're
up an hour before, right?
Like worst case, that's going to take an hour, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm 19 and I've gone to America. I won't go too much into it. But I broke up with my girlfriend the week I went because she was going to uni and I was going to America, and I was like,
you don't have to say anymore, buddy.
But
we got you.
Don't worry, we got back together. Actually,
we got you.
We got together 2 days later. Because I needed some support system. So I called her and I was very honest. I said, I've made a terrible mistake. And she was like, fine. So we got back together. But I couldn't tell my parents everything. My mum would have worried. And my dad's very stoic. So he would have just supported my mum. And my brother, we weren't uber close. He was at uni. So it wasn't anything that I could really rely on them for.
Yep.
So I went very much so just get through it. Head down, get on with it, do whatever it takes and get through this year. So running every morning, lost a bunch of weight, got in shape, had a lovely tan, living in Florida, playing tournaments, playing against NBA players that are now in the league. And this team around me just becomes this incredible network. And Kyle's a great coach, and we're sponsored by Adidas. And it is just the best 9 months of my life. Amazing. So amazing. Horrible. And if someone said to me today they really want to do it, and I didn't believe they had the character and the mental toughness to do it, I would say don't. Because you were alone, it's a 7-hour time difference. I was robbed at gunpoint. I had physical fights with my teammates, black eyes, bleeding noses, and it was encouraged. They weren't like fight each other, but you get punched in the face, and they're like, yeah, you deserved it. Like it's not like the UK. And
that's like taking Jordan to a new level, isn't it?
Yeah, and they got robbed at gunpoint. I was leaving a gas station, and I just was so tired the whole time. I look back on it and I think to myself, we had 6-4-6, then it's 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock we have practice. You go to class, then you lift weights at lunch, then you've either got practice or you've got a game or you're traveling to a tournament.
Yeah, you're 19, infinite energy. Isn't it?
So how?
Yeah.
What? Someone just holds a gun to your face and says, "Give me your money."
No, so I was walking back from the petrol station, the gas station as they call it, and I was by myself, and they Jacksonville isn't dangerous, but anywhere in the world's dangerous. And when you give gun rights like they do in the US, everyone's got guns. But I didn't witness it, but I was in our apartment complex. Someone did get shot with a shotgun out of a driver's window. But I was walking back from the petrol station.
The car just like drive by?
Well, I'll tell you the one I got robbed, and I'll tell you that one. But basically, I was walking back from the petrol station. I had like a couple like bags of Skittles or something, just like some sugar to try and get myself going. It's like 11 o'clock at night. And this guy just sort of comes out of nowhere and he's like, yo, give me your money. And I was like, and I used cash back then because I didn't have any like international cards. So I had like $100 on me. And I opened my wallet and I was like, here's the money.
I bet he's holding a gun at you now.
Well, he said, give me your money. And I was like, no, and tried to push past him. And he pushed me and he was like, give me your money. And he obviously like swearing, he was a little bit louder, but I was like, no. And then he just was like, I don't think you understand what I'm doing. And then he's just pulled the gun out of his waistband.
Oh,
and like, I don't know what, I'm not in the army, I don't use guns. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in America, I forget this happens. And he's not like put it on my head or anything, but he's brandished it. And I'm not going to check if it's real or not. I'm not waiting around to figure if that's real. So I'm like, yeah, of course. He gave me my phone back because he realized I was English. There's nothing he could do about it. So I like gave him my wallet and phone. He like took the money and like threw the wallet back at me, and then like just kind of like threw my phone back at me. And I was like, holy shit! I was like, I've never been mugged in the UK, and I was like, wow, he's just pulled a gun on me. And I've been robbed. So yeah, that was.
How far is this in your trip? In your
week 3.
God.
So I've just lost all this weight. We're just about to start the season. I've just been robbed at gunpoint. I've probably had 3 physical fist fights with my teammates. It's brutal, man. It was savage, amazing. And when I say it's amazing, people are often like, "How did you enjoy this?" It was incredible. It was the best thing I've ever done. And the fights were only because they wanted the best from you, and it was only between me and basically this other teammate. His name was Wheeze. His name was actually Juwan, but everyone called him Wheeze. I didn't ask why. He was the most, you know how I play and I'm quite loud and I'll, talk a lot of trash to people and, I've got this bravado about me. That was him, but he was 10 times worse. Very, very good at basketball and backed up everything.
I cannot believe anyone's 10 times more.
He was, I don't really know how to explain it, but he was like Jordan, right? So he only ever wanted everyone to be the best. I remember once, and I say once, he did it probably 2-3 times a week. He'd come and wake me up in my apartment. He'd get me in the car and he would go to the gym and we'd play 1-on-1 to 21. And we'd play it from 3 different spots. And he would beat me and it was brutal. And like, he would back everything up, he said. He would tell you how he was going to score on you. He'd blow by me. He could play at the rim. He'd get stops. It was when I realized that there's levels to this. And he was playing for a very different reason, which is a podcast. If he ever listens, I wouldn't want him to know that I was open about it. He was playing for and this is the problem. I'm an English kid. I'm not going to say privileged because I didn't go to a private school or anything, but my parents are still together. My brother's like not in prison. I've not had to like murder anyone. I'm very much had a sensible lifestyle. My parents moved house and built me a half court in the garden. I've got to...
It's not your only option.
Exactly. And I've got to Florida and there's this guy who came from Philadelphia, which they called Philadelphia. Like, he's watched people in the road get shot. He's doing it as a way to get out of that life. So like my why, and you say about sometimes, my why is not what their why is. Their why is, I have to succeed. Like,
almost
there's a
fighting for their life.
There's a different look in their eyes. Yeah. They are like, we have to be successful. If we aren't successful, we will literally die on the streets.
Yeah, I don't need a plan B because there isn't one.
Yeah.
One of the things that does jump out is he wants to work out with you. That says something straight away.
Yeah, we had a really good relationship. We knew what we both wanted. And don't get twisted, I was driven. I wanted to be there. I wanted to succeed. I was good at basketball and I could hold my own. And no one else really wanted to do what he wanted to do. He would always win the 6x6. He would always win the late night 1-on-1s. He learned to play FIFA because the other English guy that I went over with beat him in FIFA, swore at him, trash talked him during the game. He then spent 2 days learning how to play FIFA just to beat him. And I'm not kidding you. He then was the best person in the apartment at FIFA because that's the level of competitive he was. He wouldn't let me drive. So I don't know if I was legally allowed to drive over there, but I did drive everywhere in the coach's car, which he often didn't know about. But he wouldn't let me drive because he said he was a better driver.
Yeah.
If we went to the petrol station, he got his snacks first because he wanted to be the first in line. That's the level of competitors we're talking about. Like, he wouldn't go to bed until I went to bed because he wanted to be the one that was up latest. He would set his alarm first so that he got up first.
Yeah, it's taken to a new level, isn't it?
Like, there was one shower. It wasn't a shower per person. It wasn't en suites in the apartment. We get home for practice. He showered first. He was like, I want to shower first. He ate first because he wanted to eat first. If we bought, like, let's say you bought a can of Coke and he bought a can of Coke, he'd drink it first. There was no option to lose for him. The most competitive I ever met in my life. It was honestly so nice. because there was always someone that I could bounce off. It was like having a brother who we both just wanted to succeed.
Yeah.
He calls me sometimes randomly. Actually, he's having a pretty good life now. So he's got out. He's good. Doesn't play pro basketball or anything, but yeah, he's pretty successful. I always knew he would be, because you can't be like that and not have some sort of success. But yeah, man, he's a dog, a real dog. But
I don't know. It's a bit mental, isn't it?
Well, you had that player that used to play against, I want to say it was Bournemouth, and you two always used to be jawing and physical
the punch-ups. No, that was Southampton player.
And then the last game, when he was then leaving, I thought it was Bournemouth.
That's Southampton.
And then it was the last one, and he was like, I really enjoyed playing against you, because
absolutely threw me. It's like, what?
Yeah,
I hated him.
And it was because it's like, you are competitive, I am competitive, I want someone to be competitive with.
We were so nice that game to each other. Good shot, man. Yeah. It's like, what just happened?
I've had it before though with actually Mark Jackson. We don't talk off the court. We're not friends or anything, but I love playing against Jax because he's competitive and he gets away with like the little jabs and the ribs and the elbows and stuff. And he knows I'm competitive. I know he's competitive. School. And yeah, we're different generations. And I love playing against Jax. Like I don't want to sit and have a beer with him, but I love playing against competitive people. And that's what I do miss. Now that I don't play competitive basketball, that's what I do miss. But I did find it tough to come back to the UK when I came back to the UK, because it's just a different level over there. They're just like, I was talking to you before, but I've played against people that are in the league. Like I've played against NBA players. Like probably the most notable one of the one that you would be able to point out now is like Lou Dort. Plays in the OKC. Don't know if he starts. Like, he guarded LeBron for the series. So he was a guy that, funny enough, played at Arlington Country Day the year before I was there, and he moved to, I think, Conrad Academy. We played him in a tournament. He quite quickly, that was the first tournament, so I just lost all the weight. I'm in shape. I'm in the rotation. I think I was starting, actually. They played 4 smalls and a big. I think I was the 3, and they used to sit me in the corner and shoot. And because the line at prep school was closer than the 3-point line in the UK, so I could be a bit like a step back and a little bit further.
Oh, right.
So pick and pop. So I was a little bit like Kevin Love. They used to joke, and they actually called me T-Book, like Devin Booker, but T-Book, not D-Book. For no real comparison, other than the fact that
I don't really compare to him.
White kid that could shoot threes. So that was all they called me for. But yeah, so we played tournaments, and we went to this tournament, and it's the first game in America that I've played. So it's like nerves are going, we're warming up, it's a full crowd. We had these bright yellow. If you ever look it up at ACD, they're famous for it. They had this bright green like jersey. And it had it was a t-shirt jersey, not like a cut-off jersey. So we stand out.
Like this kind of colour.
Yeah, vibrant green.
Nice.
The type one you look at and go, that's a 14-year-old. They've designed that.
Yeah.
When you say crowds, like what kind of crowd? What atmosphere are we talking?
Not loads of people, but scouts. So I think he had he was gonna go to D1 school after this Lou Dort. So I think he had like UNLV was there, Arizona State was there. So there's always pressure, and they always said you have to be a professional from the minute you get in the arena, because someone is watching you, not just how you play. You potentially, it's that one North Carolina, isn't it? The head coach said he picked up one of the players because he got fouled out, but he went and got them more water, and he was like, that's when I knew I had a leader.
Yeah.
So I was very aware of that, and I was like, we'll be good. And I don't know what happened, but Lou Dort didn't start. So I don't know if there was some other reason, or there's lots of regulations in America. Like you can't, like red shirting, and you can't play against that team. I don't know what it is. Something like that. I didn't look too much into it.
Red shirting?
Yeah, so you can red shirt in America for a year. So you can train with a D1 team, but you just can't play games. But it means you're eligible for 4 more years. Stuff like that. Or someone will correct me in the comments if this is wrong. But he didn't start, and he subbed on. And the first possession, he caught the ball and he just passed it. And I don't know if you know Lou Dort, what he looks like. Dude's 6'7", and he's built like a running back. He's massive.
He's trying to picture him.
If I'm talking, you want to find someone, but it's let's see if I can find a picture, because it gives you good comparison. Like this guy is an athlete, and he looks like he should be an American football player. Massive.
Oh yeah.
Massive.
Do you know what? It's the Canadian picture that I'm thinking.
He plays team for Canada, of course.
I say OKC, I'm thinking, I think I know it is, but actually it's the Canadian connection. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but everyone knew him as like a slasher, could get to the rim, and he could play above the rim like crazy. And no, dude came in, was very docile, passed the ball, and then just went 6 threes in a row. Started wetting trips, and we were sat there like, and like, it got to the point where everyone was like, there's the level. The guys, this guy's 6'6", 6'7", can put his head at the rim for free, and he's chilling, hitting triples, knowing there's scouts in the crowd watching him.
And when you're looking at all those players and people that you've played against there, and you're naming that one guy, I know we spoke about it before off air, it gives people an idea of there's all these people with a good level of talent. One of them's in the NBA. Like the rest of them, life catches up, people just drop off. Some are there just for the academic. And they use it, which is great. Injuries. It could be anything, can't it?
It's mental. Yeah, but no, he would. And we played loads of tournaments, loads of games where you just sit there and you think, these guys are good, man. Like, these guys are really good. But yeah, I played against loads of people that just in general were impressive to play against. And that's the thing, in the UK, you play 4 games and no one you play against is any good. You play 4 games in America and you've played against 4 NBA players.
So what happened when you come back then?
Well, hang on, sorry, can I just ask, what's the crowds like there generally? Are they does it get big crowds for that at that level for prep?
Big games you do. A lot of it's more tournaments, so it's not sort of standout singular games that we played a lot of. A lot of it's 3 or 4 day tourneys or showcases and stuff like that. So there's, I've not played in something like 5,000 people. That's ridiculous. The biggest crowds I've probably played in front of have probably been in the UK for the D1 teams.
Okay.
But they are good. But like I said, and it's weird, man. You get some like die-hard supporters, like a random guy who just supports ACD. Like, like in the UK, like, I'm not going to go and watch a Lichen game. Like, I don't care about that. These dudes are like, it's like highlighted on their calendar. Sport over there is business. That's what it is. But yeah, we had one tournament. We played in James Harden shoes before they were listed as James Harden shoes.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, we were given these shoes, and they said wear them. Wore them for the tournament. And gave them, the James Harden ones, the red and white ones that looked a bit like Velcro straps. We had those. No, didn't tell us they were James Harden's, and then they got released a couple months later as James Harden's.
Do you get to keep them?
Those ones we weren't allowed to. Funny enough, they got them back after the tourney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had one though. They made us because we were in Florida. They made us a pair of shoes. I'll try and find it once we're off air or something.
Some Gators.
Do you still get like your jersey?
Yeah, it was Gators
in the orange.
They only made 14 pairs for the team. Yes, I've got those still.
Nice.
Yeah, they're lit in the inside. Cool. It's listed as well. So I actually don't have mine. I tore mine. I was playing them and they tore. But I got someone else's who didn't want them. But on the inside it says for Jaden from Adidas.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool, man. There was some really cool stuff that came from. I was like, that's
have you got something like your old stuff, like your
I've got
top
the
jersey and stuff?
Yeah, I've got the jersey. I've got both actually, the away kit and the home kit. The black one, which is a cut off with the green like lining and stitch, and then the all green one, which is.
What's the? I mean, look,
I'll try and find you this all green one because it is a cool Arlington country.
What are the kits like then? I would say the quality of the kits, but you're playing in the UK. We know what the sort of kits are like. Some kits are better than others. Let's put it that way.
I'm not a huge fan of playing with arms on there. Never like that. It feels
pretty difficult to shoot without them.
You know what I mean? As soon as you have that sleeve, it just feels like something's in the way.
Yeah. No, I get you.
I didn't like playing in the green ones, but that's what it looked like.
Oh my.
So yeah, 40. If I'll show
you're going to be seen.
Yeah. That is. Yeah. That's you're not missing out on that.
That's a luminous green,
so I nicked
isn't
it and I took the full kit actually, jersey and shorts for that.
Are you allowed to?
I don't think so.
We could have said we used the colour of the mic and the mic standards in memory, but no, that is luminous.
That's pretty bright.
Yeah, that was cool. But I mean, the kit's no different. They're just kits. And end of the day, it went through so many of them. It just was But I nicked that one. And I thought to myself,
you got to have one.
Yeah, I can't not take the green one, can I? So.
Look, any kind of significant team, I'd be taking that kit.
I've got them all. I don't know if anyone from Solent University listens to this, but I've got 3 of theirs as well.
Sorry, did you say you got one of those?
Yeah, one. Yeah,
sorry,
just the one.
Bit of a blip on the mic there.
My problems.
Everyone does it. Like, it's quite funny with like the Fury and stuff like that. It's the Ports of Fury. We see the Fury kit all over the world. Like, someone will post a picture, like, I think the last one was in Hong Kong, like, with a Fury jersey on. It's like, what? Or you see someone walk in with some Fury shorts. I'm like, where'd you get that? Oh, I bought it off some guy for 50 quid. What?
Yeah, who's selling the kit? Yeah,
you didn't play for us. Like, anyway.
Yeah, so, everyone does it.
So what's going on then? Like, did you enjoy your time out there?
It was amazing. It did highlight what I wanted in life. When it became quite evident. So I was at prep school, and the idea was to do prep school and then get a Division 1 scholarship. That was kind of the dream. Did I love basketball enough to commit 4 more years to it? No. You wouldn't have got me to do 4 more years at the intensity that it was there. I'm a student. I was broke. I'm not going to sit here and act like it. My goal in life is to be semi-retired by 45. I want to be wealthy. I want money, not to drive Ferraris, whatever, but I like my free time. So I knew that if I was going to be in the NBA, I'd get paid enough. But if you're not getting paid enough. And it's not something I've ever wanted to slog out and not be successful at. So I did have the coach. So we were right between Jacksonville State, which was Division 1 school, and University of North Florida, which again was a Division 1 school. So we went to a few of their games, and their head coaches watched a few of our games. Yep. So we had conversations about them. I'm not going to sit here and say I had any D1 offers. I didn't. But I think if you push and you have the right connections, you can get walk-ons or you can get academic scholarships. I realised that I didn't want that life. I either wanted a full ride or I didn't want to be the guy on the end of the bench.
Yep.
So I chose to come back basically and go to uni here, which was kind of the option.
That's a big thing to learn early at that point, though, because a lot of people get through life. A lot of people never learn the fact of like, what do I actually want? And they get to that bit where they go, there it is. That is what I want.
Yeah.
But this is what the sacrifice is, and this is what I'd have to go through to get to that. You also have to have a really sobering conversation with yourself, which not enough people do. No.
I am not good enough to play Division 1 basketball in America. Okay. I make that very clear. You play against these D1 guys, right? They do a spin move, dunk it.
Yeah.
They fade away, 80% it goes in. They're own from the triple. That's a make. They are D1 players. They are athletes. I'm not that guy. I'm quite simply, I don't play above the rim. You know, you're right, I can get hot and I can have 50 in a local league game. I didn't even play many minutes for the Division 1 team at Kestrels. I'm not a Division 1 USA player, okay? There are people that need to learn that a lot sooner than they do, because you shouldn't go through your life faking that you're a killer if you're not. And some of these guys, I'm not going to name any names, acted like they could go pro. I've seen them play local league and they get 6 points.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you now for free, you're not that guy.
But the D1 players even, they'll get through. Some of them even win championships. How are the people who win the championship actually get into something like the NBA or even go pro basketball? Not.
And how many people stay?
Yeah.
How many people do 1 year? I mean, it's that Jamie Jacks, whatever, from Miami. Everyone thought he was a breakout player last year. They didn't see the court this year.
No.
So, and again, there's not a lot of money in the BBL. So did I want to come back and try that? No. Again, probably not good enough. So a lot of those things contribute to me realising that I'm not going to be a pro basketball player. So let's get a degree and play as high level basketball as I can. Hence, Solent.
So one of the main things that stood out from what you said, and definitely Adam Riabi, who followed and stuff like that, is the word networking. Like, it feels like you guys networked to get that opportunity for America, as well as the ability and stuff like that. And then what you were just saying there is, by networking, there's a better chance that you can stay on.
And going, I guess, rolling it all the way back to Ben's a better player than me. Can we scrub that off the podcast? Actually, I should never admit that. I don't care if you keep it in, but
absolutely not.
Ben's situation in America was not as good as mine. He's in North Dakota. It's a flyover state, middle of nowhere, small school, Mayville. Didn't enjoy it. The coach was a bit of a dick. Changed the team up halfway through the year, and Ben didn't see as much court time as he could have done. You put Ben in my situation, Ben might have gone D1. So again, my networking and what the school ACD was looking for, which was a combo swing guard, whatever you want to call it, I fitted that role. They didn't need a point guard. They had a point guard, that guy that was competitive, Wheeze. So a lot of it is about situation and opportunity. And I networked with Will Neighbour, and he hooked me up. And Ben signed Mayville quite early. In the process, he was like Christmas time, third year of itching, got the offer, signed the paperwork. And his was like a Division 1 JUCO or something like that. And it wasn't the right fit for him. But you are taking a risk if you move country without spending time there.
Yep.
And like I said, he probably should have been in a better situation. But you're right, networking is massive, networking is important, but isn't that the same with life? You don't get to a good position in life.
A bit of luck as well. I think there's a bit of luck. Like you said, they need a small forward or they need a point guard. Oh, you're the point guard. Oh, they've got 3 already. Okay, they don't need you.
What you got to do is look at the NBA draft for that. Like how many people passed over, people that became absolute
Michael
legends
Jordan,
of the game.
Kobe Bryant. Yeah.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, we don't need that player though. We need one of those to fit.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
He was 2nd round, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah. So many of these players, you just think,
yeah,
and you don't know what they're going to be until they get into game time.
Yeah. So yeah, so that one for me, and then I realised that I wanted to get a degree and get a job.
So you know, obviously you went to Solent University, but you're back with the Keshaws, and this when they're making their big break, they have that famous, or what we on the South Coast call that famous 4 seasons in a row, or 4 seasons in 6 seasons, something like that.
History. So I was with them when I was under 18. I also played Division 3, and that was when they originally had sort of Ollie Roberts, Clayton Milner played actually on that team, Chris Evans,
Clayton Milner, former Portsmouth smuggler.
Yeah, OG. But so I was part of that team that was D3.
He's one of my favourite shooters. I just love the way he was. I just really liked the way his. I know it's going to sound weird, but the way his body moved on the court and the way his body looked when he shot.
Yeah, he looked like it. He looked like a basketball player. Yeah, he looked. He did have that. But yeah, so I was, I think, 17, 18 when they were D3. They got promoted. Then when I was at Itchen, they were D2. And then, as I said, I was in the team that beat Ipswich at Ipswich to get promoted to D1. And then I went to America. So then they had the first year, and I showed you that picture before actually, when I came back from America, working out with a few of the D1 guys. And they had the first year, which I don't think was successful. I'm going to butcher some history there. But then when I came back from America, I didn't actually know if I was going to go to Solent or not. I was thinking about taking a year out. No, I'd just done the most intense year of my life. My body needed a bit of recovery, and so did my mental state. I should say as well, I had a bit of PTSD. Like, if you blew a whistle when I came back from America, I was itchy. My girlfriend hated me for the first couple of months because I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I need to run. She was like, no, you don't. Like, Christmas must have been miserable. I think I ran 5 miles on Christmas Day and tried to find an open gym because I wanted to work out. And she was like, what are you doing? Like, I couldn't get out of, this is what we have to do.
Almost sounds like military kind of.
It was, yeah. And I'm good with that. My family, I come from a military family.
It's embedded in you, like.
And I like routine. I probably am on the spectrum a little bit, as everyone is. But, you know, I'm quite direct. I like things happening. I like to be busy. So it worked for me, and it wouldn't have worked for a lot of people. But yeah, it was hell, man. Sometimes
trying to untrain that slightly different, isn't it? You got to train a new routine, which is not
exactly.
I was going to ask, when you came back from America, was it just like you laid on the chair, laid on the beach, and went, oh? But by the sounds of it, no, it was quite difficult.
I wanted to, but I couldn't. I couldn't. We went on holiday actually, so I got back from Florida, and my girlfriend was going to come on the first holiday with, like, as a family. I'd been with her for about a year and a half, and I was in America on a date there, so hadn't seen a lot of each other. And we were going to go on holiday with my family to a little villa in like Portugal or something like that. And we went there, and I spent the entire time like not being able to sit still. Like I just was in the pool in the morning. I was like, let's go for hikes, let's go for running. Like, my family, like, I've just done a year at uni. Can I just breathe and sit on a sunbed? And I was like, no, come on, like, let's do stuff. I must have been so annoying. Even still now, I'm quite on it. Like, I'm never late to anything. I was like this before I went, but like, even today, you said meet me here at 1 at 12:58. I'm outside, like, hey, I'm here. So, like, you know, I'm never late to practice. I'm always at practice. I'm reliable. I'm on time. I just am one of those people that
I will say, this what did make me laugh when you came back from America was, and this happens a lot, was the accent.
Yeah, I know. Everyone gets it. I said, like, when really I talk about America, sometimes I slip into it as well.
And I've heard people just say it's just so much easier to go over there and just be like, hey, man, hey, like, I can get it when you're embedded and surrounded by that. But I remember reffing a game that
when I played at handball.
When you played at handball, and you went, you went, hey, ref, blah, and I was like, I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah.
Like, I heard words, but yeah, it did make me laugh.
It was funny because it wasn't as bad when I was.
That's when I learned you'd just come back from America. It's like,
fine, yeah.
Is he American? I just assumed you're American.
But so my ex-girlfriend, she was very well spoken. So I went to a private school. You know, she talks posh, and my brother's girlfriend does as well. And my mum and dad don't, but we talk. You know, I'm not. I don't sound like a chav. So when I'd be in conversation, I sounded fine. But then when I did sport, when I played basketball, I slipped into this American version of myself, which, looking back, and it was so frustrating because I would say stuff like, like in a full American accent, and people would be like, "Stop faking it." I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm not trying to fake it. It just happens. It happens with everyone, man. Like everybody goes to the States and then comes back.
Yeah.
They all do this, don't they?
Australia is another one.
Yeah.
That's another one.
It's an
like
easy
Australia,
twang,
America.
isn't it? When you just change your accent, not your word.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so I played for handball for a little bit. Actually, gosh, I forget about that. That was fun. Shout out to Nathan for letting me. I think I played a couple games for them, and obviously Sam is one of my best friends, so I got to play on the team with him again. I hadn't done that in 2 years, so.
I like watching you and Sam play together.
Oh, you saw the days,
you can see
you?
One of my favourite things that he did actually the other day. He did a pass, full court pass, and it was. It had bloody fire on it.
It was on the money.
And as soon as he let it go, I went, "What a pass!"
Yeah.
And it was like, bam. I don't think it was
you.
Was me. Was it you laid up?
Yeah,
okay. It was you laid up. But I was like, bloody hell, that was a pass. And I love it when a lot of times people focus on that shot, and it's like I love it when someone does an amazing pass.
That's like 8 years of playing on the same team, me and him. Like we did the whole he was the captain for under 13s to under 18s, so he was the captain, my captain. Then went to Itchin, did 2 years in there. He left before the 3rd year, so I played for Sam for ages. So any opportunity for us to get back on the court on the same team, I'm like 100%, let's do it, let's run it back. So yeah, and Nathan knew that when I came back and just was like, if you want to play for us for a couple of games, you can. And then played for a couple of teams, and then went to uni.
One of the people who came on the podcast was talking about when they got back from the States, one of the things that they noticed was they never appreciated how much access they had.
Oh yeah, to the court.
To the court, to the training. It's like, hey, it's 11 o'clock at night. I fancy go and shoot.
Yeah.
Done. And then when they came back to the UK, they're like,
Yeah.
Now, because you've got Solent there, you do have a good training facility there, and you do have that level of access.
Yeah.
But hey, it's got a few more lines on it now, Mark. It's not pure anymore.
Well, I am not.
It's not pure.
I'm not of that era. That was built in my last year.
Oh, okay.
I did 2 years at the old Mecca, the old church in St Mary's.
Oh.
That to me.
That's a nice court, though.
I love that court.
Yeah.
That to me is my home of basketball.
Yeah.
That to me is where, we played D1 games. I don't know how they got away with it. The court was tiny. The rims were low. Like, there was no runoff. That was basketball's peak, and that was.
Yeah. So for those listening, just trying to describe it, imagine just walking through like a narrow church doorway, and then you go down a few steps, and then it just opens up into this massive basketball court. But it's a nice court. I would say my only thought about the court is, I can't remember what, because I haven't played there in a long time, but I want to say, God, I haven't probably played there in over 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Maybe over 6-7 years. But what I do remember at the court is, because it's a glass backboard, I want to say one of the walls or something, it's not the sun, it's like there's something in the texture of the wall that puts you off a shot.
Yeah.
And I've seen good shooters down there, and it's like I can see the difference at one end.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is, and I can't remember what end, but that was my only criticism of the court.
You also can't shoot the corner three. You got feet bigger than a size 6, and you're out of bounds.
Oh yeah,
the 3-point line.
Tiptoes. So, that's right.
It was.
But it's
that place.
I love the way it opens up, and that would be a great. If someone did like a professional court, and it looked really small, and then open up like that into like a little 3,000 arena.
It's really cool. It's
cool.
like 3 steps down, and then you're on the court, and then there's the gantry above it, isn't there, where you can kind of stand. It's proper cool. I love that.
Have they done the lines now then? On Solent?
Yeah, on the new big
Solent.
court.
No, you've got I want to say it's netball lines, I think.
Yeah, it's
and the
netball
netball holes drilled in with the plate over it now, so it's not the purest basketball court.
Okay.
It used to be, didn't it? It used to be the only basketball court like south of Manchester that had only basketball lines.
Oh yeah.
I mean the ones that stand out.
It is beautiful.
Solent, Worcestershire University, the Wolfpack, they've got a nice one. It's
Manchester's
a centre
good
one
as well. Manchester's a really nice court, the home of basketball, the performance centre, it's like the National Performance Centre. Nottingham, quite like Nottingham's good.
The Hoods.
Yeah, that's where
I'd fight. Have some lines on it though. More
Not
lines.
The Hoods, the other arena where they used to do the England tournaments, the South Coast teams. That was a really cool arena. Although that was Nottingham Hoods. Yeah, that was the Wildcats arena. That one was a good court.
But yeah, there's not many.
No, there's not many.
But
it seems silly to not make them. But we've had a whole thing on.
I was going to say, you could do a podcast on that court alone.
We have.
The fact that they didn't make it big enough to have BBL Arena. It's just ridiculous. They put all that money into it.
And it's not by that much, is it, really?
It's like 200 seats or something like that. It's just ridiculous.
And also, why... I don't understand... Well, I mean, you can look at someone like Surrey and also, I think,
Bristol,
Cheshire. They've got that one side and the wall where the thing is. I don't really get it, but yeah, I mean, if
sports hall,
200 seats are the difference between you playing in the BBL.
I think there was a lot more to it than that. If you had O'Keefe on, I don't know if he ran into the details about that or whatever. But it's part of my dissertation. It's
very rare.
That was
a touch.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more litigation than joining the BBL than just being good enough to play in the BBL. It's a lot about, I think, arenas. I think it's about sponsorships. I think it's about health and safety. There's so much more to it.
Well, I bet they'd have been snapping their hands off this year.
I had a conversation with someone, and that I just put this out there. They have definitely not come on the podcast, but they told me that when Solent went to speak to the BBL, they were talking about merchandise rights and it's $100,000 to come and just talk to us at the table, and they're like, what? Like.
And I think, obviously, we all know that James Matthews, the reason it's called Kestrel is because of his security. And James Matthews is a great guy, actually. Shout out to him. He gave me a job before I went to America so that I could earn some money. Paid for me to be a security guard and then worked for his company for the summer. So, really lovely guy. He was part of my dissertation, part of the people I spoke to. He went into it a little bit. And because I don't remember it perfectly, I don't want to put numbers on it.
No, that's absolutely fine.
I heard it's a lot more than just a... Hey, we've won the league 4 years in a row. Can we join the BBL? I think the BBL is a bit like, you need to bring us as a franchise.
You need to buy a franchise.
Yeah, we have to own you, and then we kind of license you back to yourself, or something like that. So
that's it.
Yeah, but it's a shame because that year that they beat Bristol in that double header was crazy. That was unbelievable. Like, I was at uni. I wasn't in the D1 team. They did that year. I was in the D3 team. It was my final year. I went to Solent to watch it, and it was the first leg. And everyone loves when Chris Scarlett hit triple. I don't know if you played against or watched Chris Scarlett. He'd be someone good to get on the podcast, actually. He's homegrown, did the whole thing. He was the shooter. So the reason I didn't get a lot of minutes in D1 is, number one, I'm not a very good defender. I don't enjoy it. I get blown by quite easily, just because I don't care. But my job was to catch the ball. My job was to catch the ball and shoot it. But Chris Scarlett did that more efficiently.
All right, Luca.
And gave them a little bit better defense. So he played, and he would get 15 minutes a game. I'd get 2 or 3. So he shoots the hell out of the ball, and when he gets going, don't let him be free. And he played against Bristol, and he probably didn't get on in the first quarter. And he came on, he had like 9 triples, but like from like 30, 35 feet, couple 4-point plays, and he's not off the dribble. So if he's dribbling the ball, you're happy, but he catches and shoots that thing and lets it rip. And this is where Matt's genius really shows. They were up like 15, 16 points. I think Bristol hit a triple. Matt called a timeout. Chris hit a triple the possession before. Crowd's gone nuts. Timeout's called. Matt's drawn up a play for Chris to cut baseline and go through a sliding door screen, hit a triple on the wing where he's just hit one. Play ran to absolute perfection. And then I think Malcolm or Marcus Delpech, whichever one, their brothers or whatever, whichever one was at Bristol at the time, tries to get through the screen, fouls Elliot Dad's, 4-point play. Chris Scarlett hits the triple, goes to the line, makes the 4-point play. Next possession, trails on the break. He's like 35 foot, wets it, timeout from Bristol. Now we're up 20. And they won, I think, by like 25 or something. And then went to Bristol and won by 6. And then all of a sudden they're through to the BBL finals. It was mental. Yeah.
And we got to say that what the SLB now, former BBL, have done this season is bring back that cup competition, and they're letting the D1 teams come back into it. So I think this year with their 8 teams, 6 teams.
Yes, it was. So it's the 8 teams from the thing, and then 6 teams from that. Because it's 14 in total.
Like 2 teams from Scotland,
that's
was
really
it?
Cool.
So, but they're bringing D1 teams. So
and Edinburgh.
I think so. Derby went into it. I think Hemel went into it.
Yep.
I can't remember all the teams now. It was like
Reading?
4 months ago. Reading Rockets.
Reading,
they might have gone into
Reading
it. Or
really
was it
Reading?
Anyway, but I really like that because it's like, again, it's a bit of that romanticism, a bit like the FA Cup that they're bringing into the competition. That's great.
Yeah, let them see as well, because there's a lot of guys that don't get enough exposure that could play. Like Elliot Dad's could have played BBL if he played against a lot more BBL teams. You know, if he was given that exposure, I think someone would have picked him up. I think he'd be a great 6-7 man on a BBL roster.
I think a lot of
the problems in the UK from all basketball on that top tier stem from the fact that it is a league of one.
Yeah.
And because it's a league of one, as you said,
you're buying franchises.
All of the thing
you're
is
not getting relegated from that.
But there's two problems with that. One, all of the grassroots ball straight up to D1.
Yeah.
That's the actual ball. That's the actual players. When you're then going to BBL, OSLB, or whatever they're going to now call it, that's when you're getting bought players coming in.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, I think it might have even been Steve when we were talking with
Steve
him.
Davison?
No.
Steve Nelson?
Steve Nelson. I think he was saying it in his podcast. When you get to that level, because of how many players you're allowed to have that are international, and then you've got a few that are like two-way players on my granddad was a Brit or something like that. It worked out that the UK players were only vying for something like 50 spots or something in the entire league.
Oh, yeah.
And he was saying,
you were allowed like 2 Americans, 3 Europeans or something, weren't you?
And because of
7
those
English people.
What's the rule again?
I think it's something similar now. The influx from Americans now, it's like almost like half.
D1 had.
Yeah, so it's gone the same.
When I was D1, they had 2 Americans.
Yeah.
That's the that's kind of the standard rule for success. You get 2 Americans.
You get a big and a point guard,
build
and
your
you
team
build
around
it.
that.
Because that was one of the things that
unreal.
Steve Davison said when he went. He said, because I was a foreign player, I got sat out for the first X amount of games because all the in that local league, they're like, or whatever it was, anyone who's bought in, you have to sit them for X amount of games. He was like, seriously, like I'm doing all the I'm better than some of these guys, but I'm not allowed to play because of these sort of rules and stuff.
This is what I was saying when I mentioned about the rules and stuff in America. There's so many things that I think people don't understand, that because it's a business, it follows like business rules.
Yeah.
So I don't know the truth of this, and I don't know the rule outright, but someone said to me that you're not allowed to start practicing till a certain date, to give everyone fair rules. So like JUCO has different rules, NCAA has different rules. Yeah. So
I think you're not allowed to play a certain amount of friendly games as well. That's part of it.
Yes.
Like, I think it's 3.
Like scrimmaging hours at certain times, or like closed door practices and stuff like that.
So what they do is they'll have multiple friendlies, but only 3 will be D1 teams, and then they'll go and play they'll
go and smash up a little local college team just to get runs up. So
now, rumor has it that they might be changing that. And the reason for that is because last year when they brought in all the new NIL deals, you're getting players, and there was a coach who went on and said, I started as a new year as a head coach, and all of my players are in the trade window. So I've actually started, I'm head coach of this team, and I have no players. And he's like, do you not want to play here? And they're like, oh yeah, I love it, coach. But the game is now, the second that you're in and you start that season, you go straight back into the trade window, see if you can get a better deal, see if you can get a better thing.
Yeah,
so those players now are doing that. And then on top of it, the players who are there are like 24, 25 because they're like, hang on a minute, I may not be able to get into the NBA. But I can get an NIL deal for like 300-400 grand a year.
This is serious
and be a decent player.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, have the crowds, the hype. I get the basketball professional experience, make some decent money. And he's like, but hang on, the kids who are 19, 20, who that's what it's for, they're not even playing.
Yeah.
Because they've got these people who are 23, 24, they're men.
Yeah.
And they want it more because what have they got back home? So the fact that they're there, they're like, oh, Junior ain't getting on the court. There's no chance of that. And that's it. And he's like, the NIL now has just killed college. And
I love college basketball. I would prefer to watch, college basketball.
It's a different
Madness.
game though, isn't it?
It's so class. Like, it's just so much fun. I think college basketball is just, it's proper. It's people, isn't it? It's people playing basketball. That's what it to me is. But I don't actually watch a lot of NBA at the moment, I'll be honest. I don't really watch a lot of basketball. I'm one of those guys that prefers to play than watch. Always been quite like that.
Hey, you're going to be watching some basketball soon, though.
I am
in
going to watch
Orlando. I hope you are.
Yeah, I will be. Yeah,
watching the Mighty Magic. Just on that note, Paul Porter, the voice of one of the greatest voices of
shout out to Paul Porter.
Sport.
Yeah.
Just general announcing, like the general announcing. No, he doesn't do it. It's the sports announcement. One of the greatest voices in sports announcing is leaving the Magic after
second longest
50
tenure.
years, isn't it? How many years?
No.
He's been there since the 80s. I thought on the show he said since 80 something.
So 89, the team was inaugurated, and it was 91. I think was the first season. I think that's right. It might be 92.
Okay.
So yeah, he's been there from the beginning.
One of the oldest members of staff.
Before that,
he
used to be Cleveland Cavaliers announcer. Then he moved from there to do the Magic one.
Are we going to announce our names?
Yeah.
Mark Ferguson.
Mark Ferguson, apparently. That's my new name.
He said the names wrong.
He clearly had two other people's names in his mind, mixed them with ours. But
you've gone and got your lifelong dream, and you've only got 50% of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
We have to edit it so it just goes Mark and Paul.
But
I think he said Paul Lightyear for me. Was it?
Yeah.
He's just done that as a joke so that you can't sell it.
Like, he's a voice of it, and he's the second longest announcer other than the Lakers. And that guy has just been there for like 1 or 2 extra seasons.
Yeah.
What a voice, and what a person who actually brought out literally your intro. He was the first person who everyone went, Theo King. He was the first person in America who went, Theo.
Yeah, he jazzed it up.
So it's that, but he's still doing it with the Lightning and the Buccaneers,
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So he's still doing that. But yeah, so look, my last question, Theo, is, and I think this is quite significant. And you could still play National League at a decent level, and you're not. And why? I was gonna go on more, but yeah, but look, you could play, but you're not. So you're kind of walking away, and you kind of hinted on this a little bit earlier about the life. You want a life.
Yeah, I think, I guess I could give you 2 or 3 answers that all sort of roll into the real big picture of why. Yes, I still believe that if you drop me on a Division 2, Division 1 team, I can be effective. I have loved that Smugglers and Mick and now Alex very, very happily give me a green light to play basketball.
So this is Portsmouth local league.
Exactly. So do I love the structure, and do I think Matt's a great coach? Yes. I don't really like running plays. I've had local league teams like Handball, and Sam has been like, come play, but they run plays, and they're all paying to be there. So then what happens is they have to give them all an equal amount of time, and they call horns or that, whatever it may be, and they just stick to that system. At Portsmouth, and you've seen it, you give me the ball and it's kind of just like, go and play basketball. And that's fun to me. We win enough games. I'm able to, go and have 50, and sometimes I can just be chill, and, no one's expecting us to win the league. So it's more now seen as a fitness thing for me, as a release. I'm the happiest I am when I play basketball. I have a very stressful job. When I have the worst day of my life, or it's a Monday and Thursday, I know I've got basketball, I'm happy. Because I'm like, I've got basketball to go to. So it's still my favourite thing to do. But on top of that, this is where it contradicts me being not materialistic. Very simply, you couldn't afford me to play in a D1 team, because I can't give you every weekend. I can't give you morning practices, and I can't give you evening practice, because just before Christmas, I was 3 days a week in Glasgow. I was working out of those offices, or, I'm in London with clients, or I'm in Bristol and I'm, in Plymouth, those types of places. And for my job, can't afford me. It pays me a lot of money to do one job. And I don't think the BBL wouldn't even do it. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're the top earner in the BBL. I don't know what they earn on the SBL. I don't know what they earn, but it doesn't afford me the lifestyle I want. So for 9 months of the year, if I played basketball, I'm locked in to weekends, weekdays, mornings. That's not what I want.
Yeah.
I like my life. I've just got back from going on holiday. I mean, you've met me a few times. My weekends are pretty loose. I love it. I've got friends coming down. I go
Choice
to London.
words.
Exactly. Yeah, something like that. So that's why. Have I been approached to play 4 teams? I've had conversations, but very quickly I'm giving them this answer, which is in the most big-headed way possible. You can't afford me. And it's nothing to do with not wanting to. It's just that, quite simply, I live a lovely life. And
probably I think the better way to say it is you want a life.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And it gets that with a lot of people.
Because there's a lot of time.
It's the commitment, isn't it? It's always, it comes down to that.
Exactly.
It's like, someone says, do you want to go coach the kids at a weekend? Do you want to go do this or help out here? Do you want to go do something else?
Yeah.
Whatever, any of those things, which is how a lot of basketball runs.
Yeah.
With all those things.
Volunteers.
It's all in free time.
Yeah.
And if you're working and you travel for work, and I did that for 20 years, I get it. It's like, where are you next week? I don't know. But I've got a feeling it will be Vietnam. So
exactly.
and then you're not part of something. And And then it's like, well, I can be, when I'm there, but I'm not part of this team rolling every week. So you can't rely on me. You're only half in it. I get why you would be like, I'm either in it or I'm not in it.
And it goes back to the point of, I'm a committed guy. I really, if I'm in something, I want to be in it. If I'm at work, I'm at work. If I'm with my friends, I'm with my friends. And if I'm in a basketball team, but I can only give you 50% of the time, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, it doesn't suit my lifestyle. And like you said, it's more about that. And there will be a time, and I absolutely really hope that Solent Kestrels is still an organisation by the time I settle down, have a family, and have kids, because I will give back to that. I will 100% offer my services to coach at Solent again, because what they did for me, I think it's the right thing to do. My kid chooses not to play basketball. It'll be a sobering conversation.
You're offering your coaching services to Portsmouth Force. That's really generous of them, isn't it, Paul?
Really generous.
Really
generous, yeah.
Really well, it depends on where you live. You want to live in a nice city like Portsmouth or Southampton.
Orlando. Yeah, let me think about my options here. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's the answer to
I
your
think
question.
that's a fair answer.
No,
and you know what? I think there's a lot of people all across the country are like that. It's just like, this is my... And most people say, I've heard a lot of people say, I don't want to lose my weekend.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to think it comes down to women and beer, and I don't mean it like that, but it's just like, you want to have a bit of a life. You work all week, so I can kind of appreciate that. And when you come to practicing, I know teams that train National League 6 to 8, 2 times a week, and you think,
I got that. Yeah.
What? Who wants to get up at 5:30 to go to training? Like, you could do it, but you're not going to be getting the best out of me at all at 6 a.m.
And my job is an office-based job in Cosham. So, if you practice 6 o'clock in the morning in the middle of Southampton, I live on the beach. I'm not getting up, driving an hour into Southampton, do 2 hours of practice, and then I start work at 7:30 sometimes. Yeah. So it didn't work, and that's just Solent's example. But other than that, would be the only team close by that I would want to play for. So I don't want to do it.
Other than Portsmouth Force as well. Yeah.
Other than Portsmouth Force, of course, massively. Yeah. Well, no one's contacted me about that. If only I had a link up of somebody said, "Does I want to give them some time?" But yeah,
shameful.
Yeah, mate.
Shameful.
So that's pretty much
Cohen
the
and
answer,
Mark,
really.
do your last questions.
Before the last questions, I still haven't heard what his favourite shoe is.
It was the Kobe.
Yeah, it would be the Kobe 8s probably. I'd play.
He diced with 6 though. He got really excited when I mentioned the Grinch. He sort of twitched
the best
a bit.
looking shoes are the Kobe 6s, but because I've never played in them, I can't sit there and say they're my favourite shoe.
Okay, so
it would be the 8s. Yeah, I used to have a pair of the Kobe 8s. I don't know if you've seen them. One's blue, one's green, and I used to have those, and I sold them. Such a silly bag, mate. I got them for retail as well. 120 quid. Resold them for 850.
Wow.
I know, and they were worn. I would worn them.
StockX for the win.
Yeah. Shout out StockX. Yeah.
So what's yours then, Mark?
What, my favourite shoes?
Yeah.
It was the VC2s that I had.
Oh, okay.
I really like those. Yeah, the VC2s. They basically looked like they were like a Shocks. The only bad thing was that they were a bit heavy, because those Shocks things were a bit heavy. But
he didn't care about weight, because he could fly.
Well, I was fat anyway, so it didn't matter. But it was there was something about that shoe. If not, it was the Gary Payton, the glove shoes. They were just
the glove.
They were.
I had no.
They were
problem
super
with
light.
the glove.
Super light.
I'm wearing the D books at the moment, but they're good.
What,
shoes.
the book 1?
Yeah, really good shoes.
I mean, it looks
really
nice
like
as a skate shoe, though, isn't it?
Well, I thought this as well, but it's got really good grip, so I'm alright with it. Not that I care about grip for
as long as it's lighter than the Air Force One, because it looks like a slim down Air Force One mixed with a dunk, mixed with a skate shoe. It's kind of, that's what it is, isn't it, really?
So I've got the all white pair, it's got like a snake skin or like python on the side, but my friend Ben, he's got the black ones which are leather, which are like twice as heavy.
Yeah.
So they clearly aren't, I don't think they're actually made for performance, but I'm wearing them
well, that's the thing.
They're quite nice.
Well, that's what the Air Ones are. They're always heavy because they're big, fat leather, aren't they, and thick thing. Anyway.
Actually, can I say so? I don't know if I've said this on the show, but every time I play a basketball game, I play a game and no one knows about it.
Here we go.
And it is who is wearing the best shoe on in the court, in the game. And I'll be sitting there, and it's usually when I'm on the bench, I'll be watching a bit, and then I'll be looking around, and it'll be like, okay, it's a great little game.
Yeah. When I was into shoes, I used to do the exact same thing. Yeah. And I used to think to myself, whoever's got the best shoes is the worst player. Because no one who's actually that good is rocking a pair of Jordan 11s, because they're miserable. No. Like, they're horrible to play. Jordan 11s, 12s, 13s.
Do you like what shoes I wear?
It was the...
I don't know what you wear.
Steph Curry shoes.
Yeah, I'm alright with Steph's. They're good. Yeah, it's definitely
good. They're good. That means I'm a crap player.
Yeah, they're the best ones on the day.
Tell Theo what your first word was, or first words rather, when you put the LeBron shoes on when we were in States.
Oh, they're horrible.
Yeah, they're miserable.
He put them on in the shop and he almost like threw them on the floor. Like,
I want to say they're just like, I can't remember. Were they like
they
really
were
narrow
and really long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's obviously for his foot shape, which is understandable, signature shoe, but all they've done is just scaled it down for everyone else. And you go, most people don't have a narrow, long foot.
Yeah, not all of us are on human growth hormones. So yeah that was a joke. But I'm actually a LeBron lover. So
really,
funny enough, I used to always say the shoes were great. I was like, oh no, the shoes are so comfy. They're horrible.
Should I write this as number 1 down already, Mark? LeBron.
Oh my he's a flipping LeBron lover.
I am.
Someone has to be.
I know. I'm only saying this because I make you laugh, but I love Adidas. I love wearing Adidas shoes. It's so comfortable.
No way.
So comfortable.
When this is over, I'll show you the shoes that they gave us.
I'm going to let you wear some of my Adidas and you'll go,
I don't need to. I've done everything with Adidas.
Actually, there are some nice Under Armour ones.
Yeah, Under Armour's fine.
It's popped in my head, so I will say it.
Do it.
My favourite shoe, and it might not be the most comfortable shoe to wear, is the first, and it's probably because of this, I think, is the first pair of basketball shoes I ever wore. And they were bought, I don't know how I taught my dad into buying them for me, but they were Air Jordans. And this was when the shoes were probably maybe £60. And that was like ridiculously expensive, maybe more. But it was, I couldn't tell you what the version of the shoe, but it was all black, little bit of a Jordan red logo on it. But I remember a red toggle, like a red plastic toggle on the shoelace that you pulled up. Remember that?
Corny. No, but that sounds corny.
And I was like, it was the greatest shoe of all time. I just remember like feeling like Michael Jordan when I put those shoes on. And that's why I would say that it's those shoes.
See, I used to like the AM1 shoes. I used to like those, like the AM1 tight shoes.
Yeah, I used to wear a lot of those.
But they weren't great to ball in, but they were nice, comfy shoes. But they weren't great to ball in.
I was pretty much
they're the ones that Vince wore when he did a dunk competition, weirdly enough.
Yeah, I've always pretty much been exclusively Nike. Yeah. The only time I wore Adidas shoes is when they were given to me for free. If I was looking for new basketball shoes, I don't even think I'd go on the Adidas website. No, I would go on Nike, and if I didn't like them, I'd go, I'm fine with them.
Oh, sorry, the Adidas I don't wear for basketball. I wear just wearing around.
Again, I pretty much wear suit shoes or Crocs or Nikes.
I got to say this. I got to say this story. When Mark said he wore AN1s, it popped in my head. I don't know why I associated this with Mark wearing AN1s, but this is why this man is a legend. Is because Mark, at one point, this is him maybe being a bit competitive.
Love it.
I said to him, he was telling about all the different haircuts he's had. And I went, Mark, you've literally had every single haircut under the sun other than like a mohawk. What does he do? He's in mohawk. And then I remember us being in a sauna and going, Mark, there's one haircut you haven't had. And he's like, what? I went, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Remember that? You went, shaved the whole thing off. He'd razored it. Absolutely razored it.
Yeah. And then I went to a gym session with your brother and Stevie Ware. And then we went back to mine to, can't remember what it was. We picked some stuff up because we were going, it was New Year's Eve, or I think it was, we were going for a party. And my girlfriend at the time was like, why are you wearing a hat? I was like, oh yeah. Just pulled it up.
She cried.
Looks at me, started crying.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I was like,
cried.
Oh, okay, well, I'll see you later then.
Yeah, see you in a bit. Yeah.
Just cried.
I guess you're not coming out then.
But Mark, look,
wear a hat for the rest of the time.
Hats off. Well done.
Well,
you've had every haircut under the sun, including boldness, Steve Austin.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that.
Right, let's do your questions to finish the show.
Who's taking the clutch shot? It's the game's on the line. The ball's getting inbound or whatever it might be.
Me.
It's going to be you.
Yeah.
No famous player.
No point is there because.
All right.
I mean, just
the
love it.
Second person in
I back
history.
myself.
Yeah.
Andy Rowlands and Theo King, the only people who are going to take this shot.
I like it.
Well, like, what's the point? I might as well get all the glory or take the heat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Realistically, if I'm on the court with like Steph, Bron, KD and I'm the one that takes a shot, I think they would crucify me in the media if I was the one that took it and missed it. But if you make it, you're the hero, aren't you? So,
you say, I mean, the thing is, the realistic is, if everyone went, Jordan passed it to Steve Kerr, who got the bucket. If everyone said Jordan's going to pass it and Steve Kerr's going to take a shot, everyone would be like, why would Jordan not take a shot? Like, that's ridiculous. And you go, but he knew that he was going to be more open and have a better chance of hitting.
He does it at the White House, doesn't he, afterwards?
Yeah.
And he goes, time and time again, I've had to step in and save Michael Jordan's legacy.
Yeah. That's one of my favourite parts of The Last Dance, where Steve Kerr's explaining that and Michael Jordan's like whispering, like, you be ready for the shot. Like whispering it, and Steve's going, I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
Yeah. But so okay, that's a good one. I like it. All right.
Yeah, me definitely.
You got your top 5 with 1 on the bench, 5 and Pine.
Hang on, Mark, I have prepped Theo that you're going to ask this, but is the song available? Our listeners don't know. I've actually recorded a 5 and Pine jingle.
No.
Is that available?
We're not on air at the moment, no.
I've literally got the guitar out. 5 and Pine, 5 and Pine.
I'm going to have to find it.
Could have been a first. Yeah, get it in there.
Wow, jeez.
That was ages ago. I will find the recording.
I don't know if it's any good. You might have to tweak those vocals so it sounds like Mariah Carey or something like that.
A lot of tweaking needed.
A lot of tweaking.
I thought you sounded just like Mariah.
Yeah. Right.
Nice thing.
5 and Pine.
Yeah, I had a follow-up question for you. So 5 and Pine, you want 5 on the court
and 1 on the bench.
Yeah.
As an example, Mark put Michael Jordan on the bench to make him seething for when he comes on.
Yeah, I'd always put Jordan on the bench.
You'd bench Jordan?
Yeah. So can you imagine? You go, right, everyone's out there and Jordan's on the bench.
He'd beat the hell out of you.
No. Let's put it this way. You leave him on the court, he's simmering. And then when you're getting to like
he'd be seething,
maybe the second quarter, you'd be like, Mike, let's go. Every person on the other team, and there's no other person in history, every person on the other team, they'd see him stand up and get up and think, we're done.
It's game, yeah.
And that's why, not as in that's why he's GOAT, but there's no other player who he'll get up off and walk up and everyone's like, we are toast. Because he is going to take that so personally. And every time he'd score, I know if that's me who picked it, he'd be looking at me every point going,
yeah. Should have been the whole game.
Yeah.
Right. All right, so basically you're asking me for my 6 favourite players. But just rank them.
It is.
Do we have to win, or can it just be funny people that I'd also like to go for a beer with afterwards?
Depends how competitive you're feeling.
It's whatever you want to do.
It's definitely the one then, isn't it? Let's be honest. We're trying to win here. Stupid.
Why don't you just throw a random in?
I did think about this. I thought about putting like I said earlier, didn't I? Like, what if I gave you the worst 5 possible? People would really doubt my knowledge. If 5 all of a sudden was like, yeah, God.
Yeah, I am available.
Leitner.
Can I have a certain year as well? Can I just get Clay at number 2, like Klay Thompson at 2, but like his prime Clay, like Game 6 Clay? Just as a just because.
Well, I mean, like people pick Jordan, so they'll say what year? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
prime Clay. Yeah.
I
mean, that's.
I guess I'm not going to write Thompson. I'm going to write
Clay.
prime Thompson, prime Clay.
When you're saying Clay, I guess that's more your game, like catch and shoot.
No, I just really like Steph and Clay. I think that's an unbelievable duo.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, would I pick that? Probably not. But for now, it's fun. We'd be delusional to not now have Bron, KD, and Shaq.
Oh, Bron.
Okay.
KD, Shaq.
Yeah, that's going to be a starting 5. Realistically, I'm not even.
Who's on the bench?
Yeah, I wouldn't bench myself. I wouldn't pick myself.
You wouldn't? Oh, I pre-wrote
Actually, no, you're right. Yeah, put Clay at the 6, and then put me at the 2 guard. I'm benching Klay Thompson for myself. Yeah, I didn't know myself as an option, but I've always backed myself.
I get the feeling Paul's going to get a message later from Theo saying, "You know what? Actually,
no, I'm not. I stick by that. I back myself in all situations."
No. The amount of people 90% of guests on the show message me saying, "Just to let you know, if I was going to change anything, I would take out LeBron and put in Jordan."
There's always.
I swear to God, I wouldn't put Jordan in there at all. I wouldn't even. I just don't. I don't think anyone from his era would be as successful as they are in this era.
You know what? There's
pathetic.
A guy.
He's just like he's a 6'6" guy that can't shoot threes. Like you're looking at a bog standard geezer in a middle pack team. I promise you, Jordan wouldn't average 15 in this NBA.
What? This is another show, Mark.
Yeah,
that is just another show.
Another day.
And that's another show. I will say there is one guy, and you know who you are. I'm talking to you right now. Who messaged me still a year after he came on the show saying, "You know what? I've been thinking about it. I might put Kevin Durant in."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, KD's got to be in it. OG scoring, isn't he? So.
Do you know, I mean, look, I can understand LeBron and Shaq. I can get that. KD's my surprise one, actually, because, yeah, he's a great shooter. There's no question that. But he's a liability as well.
I don't care about defense. He's going to stop a team that averages 175 points.
You've got Shaq. There's most of your defense. But
I've got an insurance policy at the back line. I mean, Steph's getting blown by. Clay's a good two-way player. Bron does what Bron does. KD is weak, but I've got Shaq.
Well, yeah,
Shaq.
That's your one defender, because LeBron ain't a defender. And
Klay Thompson's a defender.
Oh, yeah, Klay can do it.
But it's me. I mean, I'm the liability on that 5. I'm not strapping up anyone in the league. I'm telling you that for free. I'm not strapping anyone up D2 upwards.
You got Shaq in the middle. You don't need to worry about too
much. I'm
yeah.
opening the gate saying, "There's Shaq. Do what you want to do." So, yeah.
Which Shaq are you taking? Miami?
I don't care, man.
That's going to be Orlando 94 Shaq.
Or Lakers back-to-back chip Shaq.
Yeah, I'd say the first chip Shaq.
Yeah, he was crazy.
He was a monster, wasn't he?
Orlando.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
You've got to say Orlando. You're about to go to Orlando.
Doesn't mean I've got to be a fan.
Are you going to be playing out there?
Do you have an NBA team?
Oh, no, I'm so bad. No, I don't have an NBA team.
And look, you're moving to Orlando.
I will be a fan.
Perfect.
Let's go Orlando. But they just need to start getting more TV coverage, because it's boring watching them on highlights or TNT.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
but
most of them.
I think you have more options out there, I'd imagine.
I do like Anthony Edwards. I do think he's a killer. I do think I like the Timberwolves just because of him.
And your personality is very similar to his on the court.
Yeah.
That Mark.
As long as you don't have 20 kids, you're good.
Anthony, that's what he's like on the court.
You know, my mum watched that. My mum watched that thing they did, the starting 5.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh my God, I really like him. Like, he seems like you, really nice, genuine." And then like 2 months later, I was like, "Oh, Mum, you're probably not going to be his biggest fan." She's like, "Why?" He's got 9 kids. And
9?
No, he's got, I think he had 3 last year, didn't he?
4 kids, 4 different mums.
Didn't he pay them all off? He paid her all at once, didn't he?
Yeah, he said one of them went, "You can have, here's the 18 years up front, there's the child allowance, done.
8 million.
Never ask me for anything."
Yeah.
And you go,
I think it was that bad. It was like $1,050,000 or something, wasn't it? That he gave her. So like, bet anyone's a £200 million contract. That's what's crazy. Dude he plays like he's broke. He's unbelievable.
He needs to
he doesn't need to do anything. You can stop there. Don't worry.
Think with your brain more.
Yeah. No, don't.
How many kids is he going to end up with?
Don't matter, man. Like Dwight Howard.
8.
Dwight Howard went in as a good Christian kid, got to Orlando and went, "Here's my seat."
How many kids has Dwight Howard got?
He's got like 12, doesn't he?
Has he? Jeez.
With like 8 different women or something like that. Yeah, he's got a ridiculous amount.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow. On that bombshell, Mark.
That's a proper bombshell.
Yeah.
So yeah, Theo, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Been fun.
As always, if you haven't listened to any of our episodes, go back, check it out. Get more people like Theo sharing their story, sharing their love about basketball. And if you are one of those people, we want to hear from you. Join us on ukbasketballpodcast@gmail.com or go check out the socials. Thank you for listening. I have been Mark.
I have been Paul, and we've been talking to Theo King, former Solent Kestrel, been over to America. Theo, it's been great having you on. Really appreciate your time. So everyone, stay tuned.